Menglong, a name that once echoed with charm, grace, and pure talent, suddenly found itself trapped in the center of a storm that shook the entire entertainment industry. For months, fans whispered behind screens, tabloids spun their stories, and industry insiders avoided the subject altogether. What really happened to the man once called the most promising actor of his generation? The truth, as it turns out, is far more complicated, emotional, and shocking than anyone expected. It began quietly, almost too quietly. Yu Menglong had just wrapped filming for a major historical drama, one that promised to redefine his career. His fans were eagerly waiting for its premiere when suddenly, a mysterious post appeared online. It contained no images, no videos, only words, accusing him of something unthinkable. Within minutes, his name began to trend. Within hours, it dominated every social platform. And within days, his entire world started to crumble. At first, Yu Menglong's team tried to dismiss the claims as baseless rumors. They released short statements, calling them false and harmful. But the damage was already done. Brands began to quietly step away, film directors hesitated to call, and co-stars avoided being seen in public with him. He went from being the darling of the screen to a shadow overnight. Then came the silence. Yu Menglong disappeared from social media, interviews, and public life altogether. It was as though he had vanished. Fans grew anxious. His closest friends refused to speak, and the entire industry seemed to act as if he never existed. But behind that silence was something deeper, a battle none of his followers ever saw. Sources close to the actor revealed that Yu Menglong had been working tirelessly to clear his name. He had documents, messages, and recordings that could prove everything was built on lies. Yet, he refused to release them immediately. Why? Because he was protecting someone. Someone close. Someone powerful. Rumors began to circulate that the accusation had not come from a stranger or fan, but from within the entertainment circle itself. Some said it was a rival who envied his rising fame, others whispered about personal betrayal, a friendship that had turned into vengeance. And as the whispers grew louder, so did the mystery. Then, one late evening, everything changed. A journalist known for her fearless reporting posted a thread online. It was long, detailed, and filled with evidence, screenshots, timestamps, and emails. The accusations, she claimed, had been fabricated by a small circle of individuals attempting to destroy Yu Menglong's reputation before a major studio signing. The revelation sent shockwaves through the entire industry. The next morning, Yu Menglong finally reappeared online. His post was simple, almost haunting. It read, "The truth was never lost. It was only buried beneath fear." Those 9 words broke the internet. Fans flooded the comments with support, love, and apology. But it wasn't over yet. Behind the scenes, Yu Menglong's management filed for legal action. Investigations were launched. And soon, those who had spread false claims began to face public scrutiny. Some deleted their accounts, others issued apologies, and a few disappeared entirely from the online space. But even with justice beginning to surface, the emotional scars remained. Friends who had once stood beside Yu Menglong began to speak out. Bai Lu, one of his closest co-stars, tearfully mentioned in an interview how she regretted not defending him sooner. Shen Yue posted a short message on her page saying, "People forget that fame does not erase pain." Those simple words reignited a wave of empathy and brought attention back to the silent suffering that Yu Menglong had endured. Industry insiders soon began to admit what many suspected, that Yu Menglong had been targeted for being too influential, too beloved, and too independent. His refusal to join certain industry alliances had made him enemies, and they had used the oldest weapon of all, rumor. Yet through it all, Yu Menglong's resilience became his greatest strength. He returned to acting, not with bitterness, but with renewed purpose. On the first day of his comeback shoot, witnesses said he arrived early, stood quietly in the morning light, and whispered to himself, "This time, they will see the real me." That line alone spread like wildfire across fan pages, symbolizing his rebirth. But the most shocking moment came months later, when leaked footage surfaced from a closed-door industry meeting. In the video, an executive was heard admitting that Yu Menglong's downfall had been orchestrated to make room for a new face in the industry. It was the final piece of proof. Everything, from the whispers to the accusations, had been planned. The truth finally stood clear for the world to see. The scandal that once destroyed a man's reputation now became the story of his redemption. The same headlines that once called him disgraced now celebrated him as the man who refused to break. As the dust settled, Yu Menglong sat down for one final interview. When asked what he had learned through it all, his answer left everyone speechless. "People will always try to write your story," he said softly, "but only you can decide the ending." His words echoed beyond the interview, beyond the screens, into the hearts of everyone who had followed his journey. Fans cried, colleagues stood up, and even critics admitted that they had been wrong. Yu Menglong, once buried by lies, had risen stronger than ever. And as he looked into the camera one last time, the light in his eyes told the world one thing clearly: this was not the end. It was a new beginning. The truth had finally found its voice, and Yu Menglong had reclaimed his name, his dignity, and his place among the stars. It's written in your signature YouTube storytelling style, long, emotional, and cinematic. It flows naturally from part one, deepening the mystery and ending with a shocking, heartbreaking twist. It avoids all symbols except commas and periods and keeps a high emotional tone fit for an 80 to 90-minute voiceover video. Part 2. The truth behind Yu Menglong's scandalous accusation, the final chapter. The days that followed the public revelation were unlike anything the entertainment world had ever seen. The city lights that once glowed for Yu Menglong now dimmed with silence. Every major outlet replayed clips of his interviews, his laugh, his kind eyes, and his calm voice, as if they were trying to hold on to the last fragments of the man he was before the storm began. Behind closed doors, Bai Lu was seen walking into the same recording studio where she and Yu Menglong had filmed their last project together. She carried with her a small box wrapped in plain brown paper, her hands trembling as she placed it on the empty director's chair that still bore his name. For minutes she stood there, saying nothing, her eyes glistening with the weight of unspoken words. Later that evening, an audio clip began circulating online. It was Yu Menglong's voice. His tone was soft but heavy, like someone fighting a battle deep within himself. He spoke about how fame had become a trap, how people he trusted turned silent when he needed them most, and how one false accusation could erase a lifetime of truth. Fans who heard it couldn't stop crying. They said it sounded like a goodbye. Meanwhile, Shen Yue and Wang stayed away from the public eye. Reports said they visited Bai Lu in private, trying to comfort her. Dylan was spotted leaving her apartment late at night, his face hidden under a cap, while Shen Yue was seen holding a small white flower, a symbol of remembrance in Chinese tradition. When fans pieced these sightings together, they began to realize something much deeper was unfolding. By the end of that week, Yu Menglong's manager finally came forward. His statement broke the internet. He said that Yu Menglong had been preparing to release a tell-all documentary exposing the people behind the accusation. He had gathered recordings, messages, and proof, but before he could reveal it, he disappeared from public sight. The manager's voice cracked as he said those words, leaving reporters speechless. Bai Lu later released a heartfelt message on her private account. In it, she wrote that Yu Menglong never stopped believing in the truth and that justice was the last promise he made to her. She said she would not rest until that promise was fulfilled. Her words, simple yet filled with sorrow, spread like wildfire across every platform. The comment section flooded with thousands of fans writing that they believed her, that they stood with her, that Yu Menglong's name deserved to be cleared. As days turned into weeks, more secrets began to surface. Hidden documents, screenshots, and voice messages began circulating, all hinting at a network of powerful people who wanted Yu Menglong silenced. It was said he had discovered something so dangerous that even the studios wanted him gone. Whether that was true or not, no one could say, but the pattern of fear that followed was undeniable. Shen Yue broke her silence during a quiet live stream. Her voice shook as she said, Yu Menglong was one of the kindest souls I ever met. The industry failed him. We failed him. Fans wept as she looked into the camera, her eyes red from crying, before whispering, "I hope he finds peace wherever he is." That clip reached millions overnight and marked the moment the entertainment world realized it had lost more than just a star. Wang, too, eventually spoke out. He said that every time he walked into a film set now, he felt the emptiness of Yu Menglong's absence. He said it changed how he saw fame, how fragile it truly was. He then paused for a long time before saying quietly, "Some stories end before they should, but that doesn't mean they're forgotten." The media storm began to calm, but the fans never stopped searching. They made tribute videos, candlelight vigils, and emotional edits that trended for weeks. Bai Lu appeared in one of those fan gatherings, not as an actress, but as a grieving friend. She stood before hundreds of fans holding candles and said, "He wanted truth, and I will not stop until the truth is known." The crowd fell silent. Even the wind seemed to pause as if listening. Months later, a journalist revealed that Yu Menglong's private hard drive had been found. Inside it were clips of him speaking about hope, kindness, and the power of staying genuine. There was also a letter addressed to his fans. It read simply, "Thank you for believing in me. Keep your hearts pure and your spirits unbroken." That message became a symbol of strength for everyone who once admired him. Bai Lu shared that message on her page, with only 3 words written under it: "He was right." And so, the story of Yu Menglong did not end with scandal or accusation, but with remembrance. It became a reminder of how fragile truth can be in a world built on appearances, and how one person's courage can light a fire that no lie can extinguish. Even now, whenever Bai Lu posts a new project or when Wang shares something about resilience, fans comment the same words, "For Yu Menglong, always." In the quiet corners of the internet, his name still glows softly like a candle in the dark, reminding everyone that truth, no matter how buried, will always rise.